How's it going, everybody? This is Brandon, also known as Mothman with Run It Back, here with a couple guys from Akrew. We've got Kanpeki, and the coach Juvenile. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. First and foremost, huge congratulations on the NSG Winter Championship LAN tournament victory.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
that
Yep.
marked 31 series victories in a row. It's not like that was easy. You beat some serious competition like Cloud9 White, the Cloud9 Academy, SOAR, Pioneers, Radiance, the list keeps going. Whoever wants to answer, what goes into being that consistent as a team?
You want this, Juve?
Yeah,
To
I
the
mean,
coach.
the biggest thing for consistency, and I try to tell these guys all the time, is, practice how you play. We try to take every scrim, everything as serious as we can. Obviously, we'd like to have a little fun, but overall, I think the players as a whole are very serious when it comes to practice, and I think that's what leads to our consistency match in, match out, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, Juvenile, I'm glad to have you here because a lot of coaches kind of take a back seat, don't get the same spotlight as the players. Tell me about your role in that winning streak, and then I want to hear from the other guys, kind of their thoughts on the impact that they believe you've made.
Yeah, I mean, winning streak pretty much starts from finalizing our roster. So the biggest part would probably be just bringing in Neon as far as the roster goes for me. They already had their core four pretty much that they knew was good and they wanted to play with. So bringing in Neon just helped solidify that, helped give them an extra person that had the same drive and achievements that they wanted to achieve in the game. And then pretty much outside of that, I've been putting in all the work. I helped Calm transition to in-game leader because when he started this whole process, he was brand new to that. And I would think that that's gone really well. Com's picked that up amazingly well, mostly him. He's done all the real hard work. And then just helping out with strats here and there, and then just keeping people accountable, making sure that they're not allowed to just do whatever every single play, etc.
Okay, yeah, and you guys, what do you guys kind of think of the impact he's made, how he's helped you, kind of piggybacking off what he said?
I guess I'll go. Juve has really helped us out a lot ever since he's joined the team. He's actually been like a real leader in our team, I would say, and helped me with a lot of like leadership and obviously in-game leading. And me and Juve, a lot of the time, like even offline, talk about like how we can make things better and like when it comes to strats, like what could add on to strats and make it even better than what it was. And I would say like the biggest asset he brings is probably leadership in our team and like probably like a dad in the team almost.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say Juve, the biggest thing is like he keeps us really in check, like each and every one of us in check. And he obviously looks at each and every one of our flaws and everything like that and tries to like, help us become better players each individually. And other than that, I'm sure he brings a lot of, good strats, everything like that. Helps Calm a ton, I'm sure. Calm is the one who probably does most of our strats, along with Neon actually. Neon helps a lot too. And Juve definitely helps out in that regard for sure.
Okay, let's go around the room. Same question for everybody, whatever order you guys want to answer it. You all come from different games, different esports prior to Valorant. Nearly 2 years gone by in Valorant so far. How does it compare to those other games, and what do you guys kind of think about its future?
I guess I'll go first. Similar to Com actually, because I knew Com before Valorant. Came from CS as well. Played MDL, and I would just say, obviously lots of simulators between Valorant and CS:GO. Both of them being a 5v5 tactical shooter and so on and so forth. But obviously Valorant has a lot of their own niche little things like skills, like spells, whatever you want to call them. And I would just say like overall, it hasn't been a huge transition. A lot of things do factor over from CS:GO into Valorant, and so like it hasn't been that bad for me personally. I'd say the games are pretty similar in that regard, and so that's pretty much it for me. I was just a CS:GO player before Valorant.
Yep. I would say pretty much the same as Konpeki. I'd say the only rough thing in terms of like transitioning to Valorant that I've had is just stopping from crouch shooting because I'm addicted from that because I was a sprayer in CS. I would always just hold down and spray till the end. I would never tap. But I would say that's like the only like big transition. Most of like the 5v5 like tactic base is the same as Counter-Strike, and I think I bring like a little bit of experience when it comes to like the 5v5 tactical shooter from Counter-Strike to Valorant.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, like you said, they're pretty similar, so it helped a lot of them transition to this game. But I think we're at the point now, 2 years in, where you don't necessarily have to be a CS player, or attack player, to be able to be a top player in this game. And I think you're seeing that consistently, pretty much, even right now with the EU qualifier going on, we've seen so many different upsets of unknown quote-unquote players that 99% of people have probably never heard of. And I think you'll see something similar in North America. But as far as the biggest thing is like the overall scene, like so I'm a little bit different than these guys. I had a 3-year break from esports in general, pretty much before Valorant came out, and so I wasn't really involved at all. And when I left Counter Strike, it was not Counter Strike of what you guys know of, like North America, every team signed, etc. That really wasn't a thing back then. So I think the biggest difference for me too is coming back and seeing just how big the scene is. Like, and like 30 teams are signed in this game, plus 30 teams in North America alone are getting like I would at least say a close to livable salary. Especially if you're an 18, 17-year-old kid, even $1,500 is a lot of money for them. But yeah, the biggest thing is I think just the overall support that the scene has and the overall involvement that Riot has. I think is going to help lead this game to new heights, especially in North America.
Okay, and for the players, how did the game feel, on LAN finally at the, NSG tournament compared to how it does online?
So funny enough, I do live in Texas, and so like I get really like the LAN experience. Technically, it's not like a strip LAN server, right? We actually play North Virginia server when you're in Philly, which is like right next to the data center. And so you should get like pretty much 5 ping, right? So it's like the LAN experience esque. But as someone who lives in Texas, to be honest with you, for Texas server, I get the same ping. So maybe for me, the game doesn't feel too crazy. It does feel a little bit different because everyone's on the same ping, everyone's on the same low ping, and so things hit fast. Everything hits fast. You get killed fast. Everything's strip, like everything feels like it hits kind of a thing, which is like really important because every small thing in the game you can, like as a pro player, you can really feel has a big impact on gameplay for sure.
Yep. I would say for me, I'm also in Texas, but I don't have as good a ping as Kanpeki. But yeah, I would say whenever you go into a server online against a lot of these teams and you have like the Texas ping, you just swing pretty much everything because you have just that peaker's advantage on literally everybody. And it just feels like the other team is pretty much at like a huge disadvantage when you have like that 5 ping against like say like 30 or 40 ping. But I would say on LAN it was a little different for me just because one of my mice died at the LAN and I literally still haven't resurrected it now. Like I've tried so many things and it just won't work. So I was playing on a different mouse and I was like figuring out my whole setup at LAN, but still came out with a dub, so that's all that matters.
Okay, and what was the atmosphere like? Obviously it's different than being in your chair in your bedroom, right, your home, or you're in your office, wherever you play at. You have your teammates right next to you. You have the opposition right across the table. You scream each other's faces. Your coach is there, maybe right behind you or just off to the side, ready to answer questions or in timeout. How did that feel?
I mean, personally, I feel like I get more in the zone. I feel really immersed. You're like there. Online you're kind of like in your own little space and you get like immersed in that way. But like when you're there and you see your opponents in front of you and you have your teammates next to you, you get like really into the game. Being able to like give your teammates a fist bump right after each and every round, really like hyped up the morale and everything like that. And I'd say like that's probably the biggest part about like being on LAN and like seeing your teammates in front of you and your enemies also in front of you.
Yep. I would say the same thing. I was actually really quiet at the start of the LAN because most of the teams we played wasn't really like I didn't feel like I really had to yell at all. It didn't really feel like a lot of pressure. But towards the end, when we were in that grand finals against Radiance, I don't know what came on me, but I was like, all right, I'm absolutely trash talking to the max now. Literally after every big round, I would just get up and just I don't know. I just don't know what happened back then. I don't know. But yeah, I think it is a huge difference, especially when we were practicing like 2 days before the LAN. I think it really helps with like everyone seeing each other and like I get to look over to everyone's like setup and be like, yo, I want you to do this and like look at them and it feels like that sort of like connection there. Like it's not like online where you just hear the voices where you can actually see the person taking in the information and everything. So I think that's the cool part about it.
Okay, and now a specific question for you, Com. Arguably you've been
hmm
at higher levels in the game than some of your teammates. Competitively speaking, with your time on complexity. Do you feel you bring any kind of special experience or teachings to the squad, or are there still some things that you're learning from them?
I would say at the start of this whole project of me becoming IGL, I didn't bring much because I think before I took on the IGL role, I was traditionally like a really quiet, like I would lurk and do my own thing on the team. But ever since transitioning to the IGL role, I feel like I've learned a lot of things and I can see it kind of from an overview, and I review a lot more and I analyze on like what works, what doesn't. And I don't know, I feel like I kind of bring like a football mentality where like I want to win no matter what, and I just like I don't know. I just do a lot of things to the point where I'm trying to perfect things almost. And I think Juve honestly has helped me out a lot with that sort of mindset in terms of in-game leading with Juve also in-game leading in the past in Counter-Strike. And I think kind of like his input on what I'm doing has helped a lot, and also creating my own like play calling slash style in terms of IGLing has honestly I feel like kind of made our game go even farther in creating our own style. Whereas like I reviewed or I listened to a Vanity interview once where he said like just create your own style, don't try to copy other people. Like obviously there's good things to copy from like all these teams in like Europe, NA, all that stuff. But I think like creating your own style creates that sort of like comfortability with all your players and not trying to be something that you're not.
Okay, and to Juvenile with that, what can you say about his kind of teachability and the leadership that he's kind of grown into since transitioning to that role?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Com is probably one of the most teachable players like I've ever been around. Obviously, like I'm, still fairly new to coaching overall, but being a team leader pretty much on all my teams, he's definitely soaked up everything. But I think that's what's led the success to this team as a whole. Is I think every player on this team takes criticism very well and actually tries to improve on anything that I tell them without really fighting back. So it's as a whole, I think that's what's led to our success for sure.
Okay, awesome. Now some solo questions for Kanpeki. First, I want to know the cat's name, obviously.
This one's Duffy, and the one in the cot tower is Effie.
I got 3 of mine running around somewhere.
Yeah, mine are just going crazy right now. They like just woke up, they're not sleeping right now.
That's awesome. I want to talk about Chamber. We've seen you pull out Chamber handful of times. Other teams are starting to do the same. Looks like you might, have a role in competitive. Do you think Chamber has long-term viability in competitive play?
Oh, for sure. I would say, especially for our team, it actually fits really well. As most people know me as an old Jet player and an Opera, especially. Also in CS, I was an Opera, and so for me, even though I switched off a Jet into like a flex role with playing Sky, etc., the fact that Chamber came into the game was really huge for me personally. Because other than the fact that he has like a Sentinel, like he's a Sentinel and he has like alarm bots, which is really useful in general. He also has like fast TPs. He can play aggressive, and I used to be a very aggressive duelist player. And so for me, especially, I think it fit me really well because I can go back to opping with this ulti or even just buying up. So like for our team especially, it's almost crazy because Chamber like actually came at the perfect time for us because there's like a perfect fit for us. And I think Chamber overall, just like as an agent, I think for sure on certain maps especially, he can be very, very useful. Those alarm bots come in huge, and there are a lot of players similar to me who like want to play an aggressive S style, even though and also have a Sentinel S character at the same time. And so it really works out for like a lot of teams, not just our team.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring up was, the past agents you've played, the past roles you've been on. It's kind of the perfect fit, kind of all multi to one. Do you
Yeah.
have fun playing the agent?
Oh, for sure, man. I have so much fun. Going from playing a more of a support agent nowadays to like going back to playing almost an aggressive esque agent. And for me, like, that's always fun. That's kind of like my origins. I was originally a really aggressive player. So for me, it's just like, it's a blast for sure. I definitely enjoy playing Chamber. I try telling my teammates to pick maps where I play Chamber more. Just saying.
Do you have a favorite play so far then that you can for his Chamber up to this point?
Favorite play? I mean, I just love any like initial aggressive play, man. Like any play where off the bat I just run it down because I have this really OP teleport, the instant teleports me away, and just get that first one shot. Like I don't know, any of those, every one of those feels so satisfying to me. I just love getting the first pick, man. That's the funnest part.
Awesome. Well, on to the most important question in the interview. When some people found out I was going to be speaking with you guys, a ton of them brought this. We have Neon the player and now Neon the agent. Is there a chance we might see Neon play Neon? Or will Neon on the other team be confusing with your Neon? What's up with Neon?
Yeah, we've already actually had to adjust our comms a little bit and start using real names more so that we can call him Austin and not Neon because, he was getting frustrated with all the different neons flying around. So that's a little adjustment we've already had to make. And as far as being able to see him, yeah, it's very possible. I think there's definitely going to be multiple teams and throughout the scene who are definitely going to at least try him on different maps, and I think she could be viable on a map or two. Currently, just the way she is in the meta.
Okay, anybody else want to chime in on that?
Don't be. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to give away too much.
It's definitely a we'll see kind of a thing. It is true. We are kind of changing up our comms a little bit because of that reason, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, I had
Not
that.
gonna lie. I'm sure it took a little bit getting used to for him and us, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, with all the changes, being pretty constant, in Valorant, new maps, new agents, adjustments to already established maps and agents. If Common Kanpeki, you don't want to chime in after, go right ahead. But this for Juvenile, does that make your job more exciting or even harder?
Oh, dude, 1,000 times more exciting. That's one of the things I love about this game is just the different options, the different possibilities, different things you need to think of. I think that's why in-game leading is extremely difficult in this game. And even though obviously North America scene, even in CS, probably lacked in-game leaders, in this game I think it's even more so because there is so much more that you need to keep in mind as far as abilities, rotations, how quick stuff people can get around, right? Like, Neon can be on the other side of the map and 2 seconds. Same with Jet. Same with Chamber. All these quick rotations, quick changes. You need to be able to see the map very well to be a really good in-game leader. So, yeah, overall just more fun, dude. This is the most fun I've had in a game since Call of Duty 4, which was 2010 that ended. So since 2010, this is probably the most fun I've had in a video game, man.
Yeah, I was going to say about 12 years ago. So
Yeah.
we're showing our age on that one.
Yeah, big time, dude. Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have anything to input regarding the changes in Valorant, I know with Chamber that was a huge change. Obviously, you guys are enjoying that. Are there any changes that maybe you want to see or are hoping for? A specific agent, a specific map style, anything.
Specific agent.
I have one. Nerf the Ares, please, for the love of God. Nerf that thing to the ground.
That's gonna. There's no way that the next patch goes out and something doesn't happen.
It's gonna be a nerf before this video even goes up, I bet.
I guarantee it.
But yeah, I mean, other than nerf the Ares, I definitely think I want to see like agent changes. I personally just like not a huge fan of Asher just being such a strong smokes controller agent. Like I don't know, I want some more like changes in that regard. Make like Omen and Brim like a little bit more viable kind of a thing personally, because I think Asher's is way too strong in that regard. And I like change. I like big changes, like huge changes. I like making things like chaotic. Honestly, I like lots of different agents. I like meta changes, all that sort of jazz. Like it's fun getting used to that kind of stuff, and I like changes in the game. When you played CS, you just see the same exact shit all day long, same exact execute, same exact everything, and it gets real boring. It's really stale. And then the good thing about Riot and Valorant, especially, they change up not even just like agents, but they change maps and stuff like that. And like that's important. That's really big. It keeps us like excited as a player, in my opinion. Like having changes, it doesn't get stale and boring, which is the biggest part for me.
Okay, well, looking forward. NA VCT is on the horizon. It's obvious you guys are ready to compete with how you've been showing out so far. What are your expectations for the 2022 Champions Tour? What are your goals? Any teams you're itching to take on? Just kind of let it all out.
Juve, take this one.
Oh, you guys go.
No, the biggest thing, dude, the biggest thing for me is, I mean, I'm sure this goes for pretty much any team in contention, is top 12 or bust. If you're not in top 12 out of this first qualifier, like, what are you doing? You're done for like next 5 months or something, isn't it? Something like that. So the biggest thing is qualify for VCT, and then I think that we're at a place where as soon as we start playing these tier 1 teams consistently, day in, day out, we're gonna see a huge amount of growth for our team pretty quickly. So make top 12 VCT, and then we'll grow from there and see what happens by the end of the 5 weeks. 6 weeks.
Yeah, I would say it's the same. If we like all of this, all of our hard work and everything, finalizing our roster and everything has all come up to like one qualifier, just one, I guess. But yeah, that's our main goal: get top 12 so we can get all that experience playing in that long tournament against all these tier 1 teams. I really think like all our players can be molded straight into like top like tier 1 players as long as we get this experience. So that's just like the huge main goal for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say pretty much the same thing. Top 12 is, you make it or break it kind of a thing. It's the most important thing for us. It's, we're working up to this point. And I mean, that's the biggest thing, we just got to practice our heart out until we make it all the way.
Okay, and what kind of obstacles do you guys think you might face on your way to those goals, on your way to that top 12? What's something that you feel like you'll be able to overcome to do that?
The biggest thing is just staying motivated, right? Like it's easy with 31 wins in a row to be like, oh, well,
Yeah.
we're good enough. It's not going to be an issue, yada yada yada. But you look at the team list, and there's a lot of good teams that are going to be missing out of this top 12, and I just don't want to be one of them. So as long as we
Mhm.
keep grinding the way we are, I think we'll be good.
Awesome. Well, to wrap it up, I promised a shout out to Sasha for setting up the interview. She wanted me to ask you guys just how awesome she is.
She's super awesome. She definitely helped us
She's great.
so
Yeah,
much with
she's
the LAN
great.
shit.
Yeah, she did so much for us, like literally everything for us at the LAN. She did a lot. She kept us all in check and everything, and a huge supporter and everything.
Awesome. And overall, the organization, Akrew, how have they been treating you? What has that kind of partnership with them been like?
Amazing. I mean, they've done everything we've really asked, and especially they treated us super well at the LAN with like everything they did for us. So I would say there's no complaints. They've been amazing. I would definitely be on the lookout for them to keep growing as an org for sure.
Okay, and
Yeah.
finally, just let the viewers know, where they can find you, socials, Twitch, YouTube, you name it. We just go around the room one last time.
You can follow me at ComTweets on Twitter and ComFPS on Twitch.
You can just follow me on Twitter, juvenile JV3NILEOW.
Yep, and I'm Kanpeki_XD on both Twitter and Twitch.
Awesome. Well,
Make sure to
again,
follow.
congratulations on the huge winning streak, the LAN win. Best of luck to everything going forward. It's been awesome to chat with you guys. We have a crew here. Just look out for them. They're going to be coming for you, NA.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you,
much,
thank
man.
you, thank you.